Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with our installation of Windows 10. And as you see, we are on the Windows Setup screen. The pop-up window is available to us. This is typical of any Windows operating system we've had over the past couple of versions. It comes up with a very similar screen. If we boot from the DVD or we boot from an ISO file that's on a USB stick, this is what we see. So in this case, it lets me change the language if it's not English, United States, or the time and currency format of the same, and the keyboard or input method as US. All of those things are fine with me, so I'm going to click Next. And now I'm going to click the Install Now. Just as an aside, notice this hyperlink, Repair Your Computer, and it does just that. If at any given time you have an issue with your computer not working well, you can put the DVD in it and reboot the system, and getting to the screen, clicking that, and it will go to the hard drive and attempt to fix it. But nevertheless, we're going to click Install Now. Now, in order for you to install, you have to provide the product key, and this will activate Windows on the other side of the installation. For the past several months, the Windows 10 Technical Preview has not asked for this, but now we're getting closer to general release. It is. So I have cut and pasted that, so I'll go ahead and put that in right now. And that is the correct one, I believe, and I'm going to click Next. And I will accept the license agreement. So that's the key you would enter. And click Next here. And in this case, I'm going to do a custom installation. There's nothing on the drive, so I'm going to click Next. And now for the next several minutes, it will go ahead and copy the Windows files. Once those are copied over, it will move the files around, getting them ready for installation, and then install it, install the different features, go to the updates page and get the latest and greatest updates and finish, and then we'll be able to log in and start using it. Here we go. Now we get the Get Going Fast screen, and it tells you about personalizing various things and adding information about yourself and why that's important to do so. This will put some of your content in the cloud. You'll be able to use stuff that's stored independent of your machine. You can use it on other machines with the same operating system or even slightly different, let's say Windows 8 to Windows 10. But in any case, some information will be stored off of your machine. If you don't want this, of course, you can come up with a specialized account that's just local to the system and nothing else. In our case, I'm going to say use Express Settings. And now it's going to go through a number of steps to contact various servers at Microsoft and pull down some content and make ready the connection to the Windows or Microsoft account that a user might have. Now here is an interesting screen because it asks a very important question. It says, who owns this PC? And that the choice of answering it is important, and it isn't easy to switch later. So, if it belongs to your organization, you want to use a user account that's part of your organization. Otherwise, you can select what I'm going to select, which is the I do. That is, it belongs to me. And click Next. And now put in my Microsoft account name. And I'm going to use the one that I get with some subscriptions that I have. And I'm going to blank that out so you can't see it. I'm sorry, but everyone wants to try to maintain their privacy. And say sign in. Now, here's the thing. It tells me I can use a PIN rather than a password to log in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now by putting in the PIN number. I'm going to do that now by putting in a PIN number. And then saying OK. But remember, I do have a Microsoft account that has a password, and what I've added to that, in addition to those credentials, I've also added this PIN number. And now it's going to get my files that may exist somewhere else on the internet, such as my OneDrive. It tells me about Cortana and how Cortana can help me. More to follow on that. And now the system is making my profile and setting up my background screen and other factors. It might come from other Windows 10 computers that I already have that I've used with this particular Microsoft account. And this usually only takes a minute or so to do this final step. Once that happens, we will be in the Windows 10 operating system. And as you see, it's setting up my apps. Just a few more tweaks. Don't turn off your PC. As I said, this does not normally take more than a couple of minutes. Well, that's good to know. It's taking a bit longer than usual, but it should be ready soon. I appreciate the candor and also the hopefulness of that statement. Okay, let's start. Yes, please. So, very interesting wallpaper. As you can see right here, it shows the actual build. First thing I'd like to do is perhaps change the date and time that we have here. Since by default Microsoft systems come up, and let me actually go to the date and time settings, but they actually come up in the default time zone, which is the Pacific time. Okay, and here's my new Windows 10 settings page. And there we are. So I want to change that to my time zone, which is Central United States. And now I can close that. You don't have to click OK or apply or anything. Once you make the change, it is effective at that point.